What an absolute treat I have for you in day 39 of The Eagle is Stranded. You join me as I am removing my trousers, t-shirt and jumper, and finally my boxer shorts and socks. Come with me. So this is the second time on The Eagle is Stranded that you have joined me naked. By which I mean, you join me while I've been naked. I mean, I don't know, you might be naked all the time when you're listening to the podcast. I would like to know how many people listen to me whilst naked. I assume it's probably because people are in bed and they listen to me before they go to sleep, or first thing when they wake up. Sometimes even both. I imagine people think, I'm going to listen to it on the night, just before I go to sleep, let the thoughts percolate, let the ideas settle, and I'll wake up in the morning, listen to it again, and appreciate the more subtle nuances. You listen to the David Eagle podcast episodes once, you're not going to get those subtle nuances. The allegories. For instance, the song Fartin' Martin was an analogy for our current political situation. I know a few people got that. I shouldn't have told people that is the case, but I don't like to give away too much. But if you didn't get that the first time, give that a listen again. I can't remember, it was a few podcasts ago now. Anyway, you may have heard the following sound while I was talking there. What is that sound, do you think? Have a little think about that. Mystery sound competition. We're only that desperate for material. There's a mystery sound competition, everybody. I shall reveal that sound very shortly. But in the past, the last time I was naked whilst doing The Eagle is Stranded, I was in the bath getting my hair cut by my fiancée. And in fact, I have in the past done podcasts, at least 2 podcasts, whilst having a bath. But look, I'm always about experimenting. I'm always about pushing the boundaries. I'm always about trying new ideas, experimenting with the form, which is why today I present a podcast from the shower. So I don't know what the quality is going to be like, and I don't know what I'm going to talk about, but I thought maybe you've heard the expression a thought shower. I suppose that's what this is. I'm going to have a shower and I'm going to spout some thoughts. The sound that you heard earlier was of course the sound of the shower curtain, which is now closed, and I'm going to switch on the shower and do a bit of talking while I'm washing myself, and then get out of the shower and maybe give you a few thoughts while I'm drying as well. And I don't know, I mean, I assume this has been done before. I'm sure other podcasters have podcasted from the shower. I think it's quite a novel idea. I've never heard a podcast from the shower before. I've never heard a podcast from the bath before, actually, and maybe I am really pushing the boat out. I'm pushing the boat out because the bath isn't big enough for a boat. This is when I was single, of course, but there was never enough room for the groupies and the rubber ducks. Why did you have rubber ducks? Oh, you don't want to know, people. There was certainly no room for a boat. Anyway, I know a lot of people are very excited now. They're thinking, come on, David, switch the shower on. Okay, so here we go. So the first thing that I do when I get in the shower is, well, actually, I'm going to do something a little different. Because normally I would quickly turn on the taps. It's a shower that comes out of from the main boiler. So it's not an electric shower, so you get a better shower experience. So you have to do it by turning on the hot tap and then the cold tap. But of course, when it starts, it's always cold, whatever you do. And so the trick is, of course, to start the shower and then immediately spring back. I mean, you could start the shower from outside, but I like bit of jeopardy. I like that bit of jeopardy. If you don't spring back in time, you get a splash of the cold. But today I think actually I might do something different, because I always do end with a cold shower. I always end with a minute of cold, because I just feel it really gets me going. Blast of cold for about a minute. So just the cold tap. But I never start like that. I always start with a nice comfortable warm shower or hot shower. But I thought today, start with a cold. And then I'll get the benefit. Because that's what you do if you enter like one of those gyms, one of those spas. You get like a plunge pool, and you plunge in, then you're meant to be in the heat. Here we go, I'm turning it on. Oh, my goodness. Oh. Right, it's heating up, and there we go. My goodness. So I've no idea how this is going to sound, but yes, I would recommend that actually, because it gives you a real shock, and then you feel that relief when it's over. But also, like I was saying when I did my running podcast, there's something about conquering. I feel that if you do something that you don't want to do, or that your brain naturally goes, oh no, I don't want to do this, like taking a cold shower, that moment when you've done it, you feel like self-mastery. I absolutely love that feeling. I don't do extreme sports, so I suppose that's as extreme as it gets. Now if this has been, because I've said the word extreme, maybe there's some sort of body FBI or something like that has to listen out for podcasts with words like extreme, just in case there's some kind of extremist propaganda or something like that. And I like the idea of them listening to this going, right, what's this podcast? And they realise it's just a man podcasting from a shower. And now this bit will be extra weird because they've been hearing me talking about them. Well, hello. I know you're on the job at the moment, I know you're working, and I can tell you there's no terrorist activity being espoused here in this podcast. However, while you're here, maybe when you're off work, you can tune into this podcast. If you're a fan of Gina G, then you'll be especially pleased to know that we yesterday provided the exclusive first play of the long-lost, never-heard song from Gina G. On the subject of which, thank you very much to Claire, who very much enjoyed the Gina G song, although slightly confused, I think she was, a little confused. And I can understand how she's reached this conclusion, really, but she said exemplary singing from Ellie and wonderful yodeling from David. And I see what's happened, because principally I suppose this podcast is light in tone and, hopefully it's humorous in the main. And so when I do something serious, like actually do a bit of serious journalism and unearth a long-lost, unheard Gina G song, people assume, it's some elaborate joke. I suppose it's the problem of doing comedy and then doing something a little more serious. That's why people release things under a pseudonym. I also appreciate, Claire, that the accent was very different, maybe, to how Gina G used to sing. Though, I suppose, I believe she had spent quite a bit of time in England, and I think she was trying to do, because it's a song about, say, in medieval times, medieval England, I think she was trying to do an English accent. I think that's what happened in the song there, so that explains that to the people who are wondering why the accent sounded a bit different to the other songs from Gina G. And I think it's a pretty convincing English accent from Gina G. I think that's really good. This is the same Claire who struggles to hear sometimes if things aren't mic'd up properly. And I get the feeling she might be struggling with this one. I do apologise if you are, Claire, because of the sound of running water going on over the top. Just enjoy it, Claire, for even if you can't appreciate the subject matter and the content of this podcast, I'm sure you're just simply enjoying the sensual nature of today's podcast. I mean, I don't know how Claire feels about me talking about her in the shower, by which I mean talking about you while I am in the shower. I'm not going to talk about you in the shower. Don't you worry. Your secret is safe with me. I said I wouldn't say anything about that, and I maintain that promise. But I hope you had a good night, and have you still got the souvenir rubber duck? Yes, obviously, normally when I record, I will have the microphones in my ears. That is obviously not possible in this situation. I've set up the digital recorder into the holder for the shower gels and the shampoos, and I'm just speaking up and hoping that this is working. Because if it isn't working, then after this, I'll then have to do a completely different podcast, and it'd be a shame if all of this was lost. And also, hopefully, the condensation won't interfere with the microphones. This is quite the gamble that I'm taking, because if the shower water gets into the microphones or into the recorder, that could break the recorder, and it might jeopardise the entire Eagle is Stranded project. Some people may see this as a way that I can excuse myself and finish this early. The shower water got in the recorder, so I'm afraid that's the end of the podcast series. I was asked a couple of days ago whether I wanted to take part in an online concert series with various folk singers to raise money for food banks. Obviously I'm very busy doing this podcast, but I thought I could probably spare 5 minutes for a good cause, even if it means giving up an episode of Paul Temple. I'm prepared to make such a sacrifice for charity. But I don't normally perform songs by myself, so I'm wondering what to do. So I don't know if anyone has any suggestions of songs they would like to hear. I mean, instantly I know that people will be saying Farting Martin. Farting Martin is a must. I'll let you know the details when I get them of where you can hear this. Or maybe there's something you would like to hear me do. You think, that'll suit his voice. So if anyone has any requests, any suggestions of songs, then let me know. That's the sound of the shampoo going on my head, just squeezing out the shampoo. I mean, I say that, to be honest, I've absolutely no idea which one is the shower gel, which one is the shampoo, so I might have just put shower gel on my head but because I can't see which bottle is which, but it's not like I'm going out anywhere, so it doesn't really matter. Obviously, I'm not going to tell you the make of the shower gel or shampoo or anything like that. I don't know, but I could obviously get Ellie to tell us. But the last thing I want is to plunge the economy into even more chaos by favouring a special brand over another one. And now it's getting very steamy in here. And I know you're thinking, oh, too right it is, David. I'm now rinsing everything off, and then I'm going to end with a blast of cold. And I do that for about a minute. So I'm going to now turn the hot tap off, and it's going to be the cold tap fully on. And we're on. And I start by letting it cascade over my head for a good 10 seconds or so, and then step back, and then let it get on my front. Make sure that everything is coming into contact with the cold. Move about, and let it cover all of me. And you really feel that dopamine release. I believe that is a scientific thing that's happening, is that then dopamine gets released because there's a stress factor that's happening. The body is reacting to stress, so it's flooding the body with dopamine in order to try and alleviate that feeling of stress, so you get a real feeling of dopamine. I might be not explaining that well, but in fairness, I am currently being doused with freezing cold water. And now I'm going to end with one final submersion into the water for 10 seconds before turning this off on it. And we turn off the tap, and that flood of dopamine, that flood of relief that it's finished, and that flood of triumph, of self-mastery, that I could have just turned that off. I could have said, no, I'm going to end this shower in the warm, but I haven't done that. And even though it feels a bit, maybe painful's maybe not the right word, but it's a bit dissonant perhaps at first. It's a good word maybe to describe it. You feel the pricks of water, but then that moment, it's like what I was saying at the end of a run. Everything seems so calm, and it's the same when you've finished having a cold shower. That feeling, the air around you suddenly feels so much warmer, and you just appreciate that being comfortable once again. And some people would say, why would you put yourself through that discomfort? But there is something to be said for it and enjoying that discomfort. I might get some people saying, you should give sadomasochism a try. I don't think, maybe that's what it is, to be honest. It's not something that I subscribe to. I'm now leaving the shower. Maybe that's one of the reasons people do it, because it's that pleasure and pain cocktail. I suppose there's a fine line between the two. For me, with a cold shower, it's all about that initial discomfort, just that feeling of freedom, because I'm doing something that I didn't have to do and a part of me didn't want to do, but I've mastered myself and I've gone, no, you're going to do this, and I know it's good for me, it's good for my skin, I believe, and it's good for the hair, and so you're doing something that's good. It's like exercise. It's so easy to say, I'll give it a miss. But once you do it, that feeling, the flood of chemicals, I would heartily recommend it to people. Get up in the morning, have a shower, have a cold shower. You don't have to do the whole thing cold, but just end with that cold spurt. You'll feel much more awake, I think. So I've turned into a bit of a motivational speaker here. I don't know whether I am actually motivating anyone or not, but I'm motivating myself. You get that flood of chemicals, that positive dopamine release. You get all of the health benefits to the skin, to your hair. The blood is flowing to your organs. So when it's hot, I believe, when you come into contact with hot water, the blood goes to your skin. And then obviously your pores open. Having a cold shower closes the pores, so that's better for you because you don't want to get out of the shower and have open pores because that can allow germs in, I suppose. Believe I'm not talking nonsense here. There might be some people now going, just absolutely no efficacy into what you're saying whatsoever, David. I believe this is all true. So you get blood flow going to your organs, you get that dopamine release, and then you get that feeling of calm afterwards, which is just beautiful. A real meditative experience if you just stand there and just allow the warmth around you, because it's suddenly everything feels so much warmer. And I'm really getting into talking about this, actually. Give it a try. Give it a try and let me know what you think, people. I am feeling really positive about this podcast, but I am aware that it might not be because it's any good. It might be because I've just had a blast of cold water and there's dopamine racing through me right now. Give it a try. Let me know. I want everyone who's listening to this, if you can, if you're in a position where you're able to, over the next day, get yourself having a cold shower at the end. Just turn that hot tap off and turn the cold up to max. How do you know I shower with? Well, you should be ashamed of yourself for what you're doing. When Max's wife finds out about it, she's not going to be happy. And then report back. Let me know how you felt it went. I mean, I say that, I'm not an extremist. I'm essentially trying to start some sort of cult here. Come on, everyone. You can have a cold shower, and while you do it, I want you to sing Fartin' Martin at the top of your voice. That will really make you feel good. To be honest, I think it would make you feel brilliant. If you had a cold shower and you sang at the top of your voice the words to Fartin' Martin, I think that would be brilliant for your mind and body and soul. In fact, if you want to do a little recording of yourself having a cold shower while singing Fartin' Martin at the top of your voice, that's my challenge to a listener. Come on, I do a lot for you. Come on. You know, it's about time. I don't ask for money. I don't ask for donations like a lot of podcasters do. None of that. Completely for free. If you want to pay me back, that's what I want you to do. Record yourself having a freezing cold shower while singing Fartin' Martin at the top of your voice. And if you don't remember the words to Fartin' Martin, I'm going to end with Fartin' Martin right now. And if you're not aware of why there's a song called Fartin' Martin, well, you'll have to revisit that podcast. I think it was Saturday's podcast. I think it was something like episode 32 or something. So I'm going to leave you with Fartin' Martin. Imagine if I get absolutely inundated and this becomes a massive thing. You just never know what's going to take off. Oh, bloody hell. Like, people, please, you're going to have to stop sending me your cold shower Fartin' Martin renditions, because I can't just do this for the entire podcast. I've got 75 of the things. I said I wasn't a cult leader, but if that government person's listening now, there's something going on here. He's asking people to take cold showers and sing songs. Have a cold shower, and I'll leave you with a song that I want you to sing at the top of your voice whilst taking a cold shower and recording yourself doing so. It's Fartin' Martin.
Fartin' Martin, that is your name. Fartin' Martin, you're clearly to blame. We can tell by the stink, we can tell by the gas, we can tell by the sound emanating from your ass. Oh, Fartin' Martin, what's going on? Fartin' Martin, it's a hideous pong. Come on, Martin, don't say that I'm wrong. It's clearly you. Go for a poo, Fartin' Martin. Oh, yeah.